friends, welcome back or welcome. My name is Ashley, aka Food for Fuel Dietitian. On my channel, I give you tips and tricks to live your best, healthiest life. Today, I'm giving you part 2 of the emotional eating video. I could do probably 8 parts of this because there's so much involved in treating emotional eating habits. But let's start off where we left off, and that is first identifying why. Why are you emotional eating? What is triggering you, right? So what emotions are you feeling that are making you want to reach for certain foods? And of course, we know those are the foods that aren't the healthiest when we reach for those because they're to comfort us. They're to fulfill a need that we can't meet otherwise, or we think we can't meet otherwise. And that's going to be that first step. So hopefully, if you're watching this video, you've already done that. Right, so we're moving on to the next step. And that is, to put it simply, there are 2 things we need to do. We need to, 1, find a support system, and 2, identify methods of meeting these needs that you enjoy. So for example, say someone eats when they are stressed for a deadline at work. We can't really change the fact that we have a deadline and that we're stressed, right? But we have to remind ourselves that feelings are temporary, right? But eating that entire carton of ice cream, it's going to make us feel good temporarily as well. So that good feeling is just as temporary as that negative feeling. So that is super important to identify. But in order to help us with this, right, we can't always do it alone. We need to identify maybe 1 or 2 people or maybe a group of people we can reach out to when we are feeling like I really need to emotional eat, or you just feel really stressed, depressed, sad, upset, hurt, angry, betrayed. Maybe it's just even tired. Honestly, when we're tired, that I consider that emotional eating as well, because a lot of us reach for really high sugary foods. It's a reason for eating that's not hunger or to fulfill our nourishment needs. Now, this support system can just really keep you accountable, help to remind you that feelings are temporary and to not make a permanent decision based on a temporary feeling, right? Granted, eating isn't permanent, I know that, but the results of eating poorly can be damaging to our bodies and to even our emotional well-being, right? So even though it feels good in the moment, it actually ends up making us maybe feel guilty or maybe gain weight that makes us feel less confident in ourselves. So it's kind of a negative domino effect. So going back to that example, right? Maybe you have a deadline at work, you're stressed. You can reach out, call a friend, FaceTime a friend, or a family member. Maybe it's your mom or dad, sister or brother, cousin, aunt, uncle, friend, coworker. Reach out to this person, even if it's not, hey, I need help. Maybe it's just that you need to talk things out, right? So you talk out your stress. Sometimes just letting it out can help. Just having that support system is going to make you feel that much more reassured that this is okay, this is going to be okay. But the other thing we need to do is find a way to de-stress that we enjoy. Everyone's going to have a different form of this, but maybe for some it's yoga. Maybe for some people it's just literally breathing techniques. Just taking deep breaths, doing some diaphragmatic breathing, that could work. Going for a walk, sitting outside in the sun, meditating, reading a book, listening to a song. If you're feeling angry, listening to an angry song to let it all out. If you're feeling sad, listening to a sad song to let it all out, and then maybe a happy song to boost up your mood afterwards. This is going to be different for everyone, but I want you to identify those things for yourself. Identifying is the first step. Setting up a plan for yourself is the first step, but following through is the hardest part, and that's the part that's not going to be consistent all the time. Some days you might feel really great about what you're doing. Your emotions might be all positive, and some days they might be negative, and you might not always follow through with the plan, but the whole point is to get back on that plan, to not let yourself deviate from the plan. If you fall off the wagon once or twice, get back on. That's important. So I want to remind you again, the biggest part of this is identification and reminding yourself that feelings are temporary, good and bad. I have so much more information about emotional eating. If you guys want to reach out, if you are struggling with emotional eating, you can go to my website, schedule an appointment with me. It can be virtual, it can be in person. If that's something that you find is a really big barrier for you to become your best, healthiest self, I want to help you with that. So remember, friends, fuel yourself, don't fool yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.